हेलो एवरीवन, स्वागत है आपका हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल में। आज हम आपके लिए फिर से एक नया वीडियो लेके आए हैं। तो वीडियो को शुरू करने से पहले अगर आपने हमारा चैनल अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो चैनल को ज़रूर से ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन दबाना बिल्कुल मत भूलें, ताकि हम कोई भी वीडियो लाएँ उसका नोटिफिकेशन आपको सबसे पहले मिल जाए। वीडियो को अंत तक ज़रूर देखिएगा। अगर आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आता है तो एक लाइक और कमेंट ज़रूर करिएगा। तो चलिए वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। आज हम आपके लिए जो टॉपिक लेके आए हैं वो बिज़नेस स्टडीज़ का टॉपिक है, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग फंक्शन ऑफ मैनेजमेंट में। ये दूसरा फंक्शन होता है प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट का, दैट इज़ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग। फर्स्ट वन इज़ प्लानिंग, दैट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अर्लियर। सो टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट द ऑर्गेनाइजिंग. इट इज़ द सेकंड फंक्शन ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. What is organizing? Organizing can be defined as identifying and grouping different activities in the organization and bringing together the physical, financial, and human resource to establish most productive relation for the achievement of specific goal or of the organization. So, in other words, we can say that it refers to making arrangement of everything in order form and making most efficient use of resources. When manager are performing the organizing function, it result in creation of an organizational structure which shape the system of working. Or we can say that to organize a business is to provide it with everything useful to its functioning, that is raw material, machine, tools, capital and personnel. So let's talk about the organizing process. What is the process of organizing? So in organizing, the first step is identify and divide the work. In identification and division of work, the organizing function begin with the division of total work into small unit. The whole work is divided into smaller unit. Each unit of work is called a job. And individual is the organization is assigned one job only. And in the organization, an individual is assigned only one job. The division of work into smaller job lead to specialization because job are assigned to individual according to their qualification and capabilities. The division of work and assignments of job lead to a systematic working in the organizations. Next part is grouping the jobs and departmentalizations. What does this means? This means that after dividing the work into smaller jobs, related and similar job are grouped together and put under one departments. The departmentation of or grouping of job can be done by the organization in different ways. But the most common two ways are, first one is functional departmentalization. Under these methods, job related to common function are grouped under one department. For example, all the jobs related to production are grouped under production departments and all jobs related to sales are grouped under sales department. So, jobs related to common function are grouped under one department. If we talk about the divisional department, then in a divisional department, when an organization is producing more than one type of product, then they prefer divisional department. Under this, jobs related to one product are grouped under one department. For example, if an organization is producing cosmetics, textiles and medicines, then job related to production, sales and marketing of cosmetics are grouped under one department and job related to textile under one, and so on. Third one is assignment of duties. After dividing the organization into specialized department, each individual working in different department is assigned a duty matching to his skills and qualifications. The work is assigned according to the ability of individuals. And the last one is establishing a reporting relationship. After grouping the activities in different departments, the employees have to perform the job, and to perform the job, every individual needs some type of authority. So, in the third step of organizing process, all the individual are assigned some authority matching to the job they have to perform. So, according to their job, they have given some type of authorities. The assignment of the authorities result in the creation of superior and subordinate relationship, and the question of who report to whom is clear. The individual of high authority become the superior, and with less authority become the subordinate. So with the establishment of authority, the individual can perform their job and everyone knows who will report to whom. So now let's talk about the importance of organizing. First one is benefit in specialization. In organizing, every individual is assigned a part of total work and not the whole work. Due to this division of work into smaller unit and assignments of unit according to the qualification lead to specialization. The specialization automatically comes when an individual is performing one job again and again, that is repeatedly. Second one is role clarity. In the organizing function, the employees are assigned different jobs and the manager clearly defines the jobs. The jobs are defined on the written documents called job description, which clearly spell out what exactly has to be done in every job. This description of job brings clarity in the minds of the employee. Next one is clarity in working relationship. In the organizing function, it is clearly defined that what all and how much power and authority is enjoyed by different individual or managers. Each manager knows very clearly to whom he can give order and from whom he has to receive the orders. The superior subordinate relation is clearly defined in organizing. Next one is optimum utilization of resource. In the organizing function, there are very few chances of duplication of work or overlapping of work because the job are assigned to different individual by clearly defining the job in the job description document. So there is no duplication of work or overlapping of work as the jobs are already defined in the descriptions. So there are no chances that the same work is performed by two or more individuals. Next one is expansion and growth. With optimum utilization of resource and proper division of work and departmentations, company can easily meet the challenges and can expand their activities in a planned manner. And the last one is adoption to change. Whenever the change take place in the business environment, then with the help of organizing function, these change can be adopted systematically because organizing function create different departments and group related activities under each departments. With this change can be adopted only in that area which may be affected by these change, and changes can be easily communicated to whole organization through departments only. So organizational structure can be suitably modified according to the change taking place in the business environment. So now let's talk about the organizational structure. When the manager are performing organizing function, an organizational structure gets created automatically, which defines the job position, the authority, responsibility of different employees. Organization structure can be defined as network of job positions, responsibilities and authorities at different levels, or it can be called as a framework within which managerial and operational tasks are performed. It specifies the relationship between people, work and resource. The consideration are kept in mind while framing the organizational structure that are first one is job design. In the organizing process, the total work is divided into various jobs and the manager has to get the job done from his employees. So it must be specified very clearly what all activities have to be performed in a particular job and what each individual has to do while performing the job. So designing of job means clearly defining the content of a job as far as possible, and expected result of job must be defined along with the job. Next one is departmentations. After division of work into jobs, the jobs are grouped together to form departments. While grouping the activities, the manager must keep in mind that only the related or similar jobs are grouped under one department so that there can be specializations. Next one is span of management. Span of management means how many employees or subordinates can be effectively managed by one manager, or how many subordinates are under one superior. When the authorities and responsibility relationship are established in organizing process, then the manager must keep in mind the span of control. And the last one is delegation of authority. Delegation of authority means sharing of authority between the manager and the subordinate. Generally, while getting the work done from the subordinate, manager pass some degree or part of their authority to their subordinate so that they can work as a team and achieve the group goal. The sharing of authority help in deciding the group leader among the subordinate also. So now let's talk about the types of organizational structures. Whenever the manager is performing organizing function, it results in formation of a organizational structure which depict the working style of an organization. The organizational structure can be defined as a network of job positions, responsibilities and authorities at different level of one organizations. This structure shows the authority responsibility relationship between the people working at different job positions. This structure make clear who is reporting to whom, or who is the boss and who is the subordinate. The organizational structure can be mainly of two types, which are functional and divisional. So let's talk about the functional. When the activities or jobs are grouped keeping in mind the function or the job, then it is called functional structure. For example, all the jobs related to production are grouped in production department, sales related jobs are in sales department, purchase related are in purchase department, and so on. Within the departments also grouping is done on the basis of specialized functions. So एडवांटेज ऑफ फंक्शनल में भी फंक्शनल स्ट्रक्चर के एडवांटेज हो सकते हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज स्पेशलाइजेशंस. When the activities are grouped according to the type of function, then all activities are related to one type only. So the specialized and professional expert can be hired to supervise those activities. This leads to efficiency and specializations. Next one is easy supervision. The supervisor become familiar with the type of tasks to be performed because all tasks are related to one function only. As a result, he can supervise and guide the employees who are performing those activities. Third one is easy coordinations. The department form in functional structure are interdependent on each other, which means the activities of one department depend upon the performance of other department. Help in increasing the managerial efficiency. Manager of one department are performing the same type of function again and again, which make them specialized and improve their efficiency. And the last one is effective training. It makes training of some employees more easy as they are trained in limited types of skills. That is, employee of production department are given training of production techniques only. There may be some disadvantage also. The disadvantage may be the department become specialized in their own way. They fail to see the prospect of whole organization. As a result, the organizational goal cannot be achieved. And the second one is when the department become too large, then the coordination decrease and the result in delay of decisions. Next one is divisional structure. When the organization is large in size and it's producing more than one type of product, then activities related to one product are grouped under one department. Divisional structure is suitable only to multi-product manufacturing large organizations. The advantages may be product specializations. All the activities related to one type of product are grouped under one department only, which bring integration and coordination in the activities. Next one is fast decision making. The decisions are taken much faster in divisional structure because there is no dependence on other department for taking the decisions. Next one is accountability. In this type of structure, the performance of individual department can easily be assessed, as you can hold the department accountable for non-accomplishment of objectives. Fourth one is flexibility. Fast decision making leads to flexibility in the organization. And the last one is expansion and growth. New department can be added without disturbing the existing departments. In divisional also there may be some disadvantages, that are conflict on allocation of resource. Each department will require all the resources. Every division will be working as an independent unit. So now let's talk about the formal organizations. When the manager are carrying an organizing process, then as a result of organizing process, an organizational structure is created to achieve systematic working and efficient utilization of resource. This type of structure is known as formal organizational structure. Formal organizational structure clearly spell out the job to be performed by each individual, the authorities responsibility assigned to each and every individual, the superior subordinate relation, and the designation of every individual in the organization. The structure is created intentionally by the manager for achievement of organizational goal. So let's talk about the advantages of formal organization. First one is systematic working. Formal organization structure result in systematic and smooth functioning of the organizations. Next one is achievement of organizational objective. Formal organizational structure is established to achieve organizational objectives. Third one is no overlapping of work. In formal organization structure, work is systematically divided among various departments and employees, so there is no chance of duplication or overlapping of work. Fourth one is coordination. Formal organization structure result in coordinating the activities of various departments. And the last one is creation of chain of command. Formal organization structure clearly defines superior subordinate relationship, that is, who report to whom. There may be some disadvantages also, that are delay in action. While following a scalar chain and chain of command, action get delayed in the formal structure. And the second one is emphasis on work only. Formal organizational structure give importance to work only. It ignores the human relation, creativity, talent, etc. Next one is informal organization. In the informal organization structure, individuals are assigned various job positions. While working as these job positions, the individual interact with each other and develop some social and friendly group in the organization. So the employee and individual interact with each other, that develop some social and friendly group in the organization. This network of social and friendly group form another structure in the organization, that is called informal organization structures. The informal organizational structure get created automatically, and the main purpose of such structure is getting psychological satisfaction. The existence of informal structure depend upon the formal structure because people working at different job position interact with each other to form informal structure, and the job position are created in formal structure. So if there is no formal structure, there will be no job position, there will be no people working at the job position, and there will be no informal structure. So informal dependent on the formal structures. So let's talk about the advantages. First one is fast communication. Informal structure does not follow scalar chain, so there can be fast speed spread of communication. Second one is fulfill social need. Informal communication gives due importance to psychological and social need of employees, which motivates the employees. And the last one is correct feedback. Through informal structure, the top level manager can know the real feedback of employees on various policies and plans. There may be some disadvantages also, that is spread rumors. According to a survey, 70% of the information spread through informal organization structure are rumors, which may mislead the employees. Second one is no systematic working. Informal structure does not form a structure for smooth working of an organization. And the last one is may bring negative results. In informal organization opposes the policies and changes of management, then it becomes very difficult to implement them in the organization. So now let's talk about the delegation of authority. In every organization, manager are assigned lot of work and manager alone cannot perform all the work. So he divides the work among different individuals working under him according to their qualification and get the work done from them. The manager begins with sharing of his responsibilities with his subordinate. He deliberately passes some of his responsibilities to his subordinate. After passing the responsibilities, the manager also shares some of his authority. Authority means power to make decisions with his subordinates so that the responsibilities can be carried out properly. To make sure that his subordinate perform all the work effectively and efficiently in the expected manner, the manager create accountability, and this whole process is known as delegation. So delegation can be defined as a process of entrusting responsibility and authority to the subordinate and creating accountability on those employees who are entrusted responsibility and authority. So let's talk about the importance of delegation. First one is effective management. In the delegation process, manager pass routine work to the subordinate, so they are free to concentrate on important matter. The main job of manager is to get the work done effectively, and by delegating the authorities and responsibilities, manager can get the work done effectively and efficiently from the subordinates. Second one is employees development. As a result of delegation, employees get more opportunity to utilize their talent. It allows them to develop those skills which help them to perform the complex task. Delegation help in making better future manager by giving them chance to use their skill, gain experience of work related to higher job position. Third one is motivation of employee. In the delegation, when the manager is sharing his responsibility and authority with his subordinate, it motivates the subordinate as they develop the feeling of belongingness and trust, which is shown to them by their superior. Some employees can be motivated by some such kind of non-financial incentives. Next one is facilitate organizational growth. In the process of delegation, when the manager are passing their responsibilities and authority to the subordinate, they keep in mind the qualification and capabilities of all the subordinate. This lead to division of work and specialization, which is very important for the organizational growth. Next one is better coordination. In delegation, systematically responsibility and authority is divided and employees are made answerable for non-completion of task. This systematic division of work gives clear picture of work to everyone, and there is no duplication of work Clarity in duties assigned and reporting relationship bring effective coordination in the organization. And the last one is reduce the workload of manager. In the process of delegation, the manager are allowed to share their responsibilities and work with the subordinate, which help the manager to reduce their workload. With the process of delegation, the manager can pass all their routine work to their subordinate and concentrate on important work. Without delegation, manager will be overburdened with the work. So let's talk about the element of delegation. There are three elements of delegation. First one is responsibility. Responsibility means the work assigned to an individual. It includes all the physical and mental activities to be performed by the employees at a particular job position. The process of delegation begins when manager passes on some of his responsibilities to his subordinate, which means responsibility can be delegated. Second one is authority. Authority means power to take decision. To carry on the responsibilities, every employee need to have some authorities. So when the manager are passing their responsibility to the subordinate, they also pass some of the authority to their subordinate. The delegating authority is the second step of organizing process. While sharing the authority, the manager keep in mind that the authority matching to the responsibility should be only delegated. They should, they should not pass all the authority to their subordinate. And the last one is accountability. To make sure that the employee or subordinate perform their responsibility in their expected manner, the accountability is created. Accountability means subordinate will be answerable for the non-completion of task. Creating accountability is the final step of delegation process. The accountability cannot be passed or delegated. It can only be shared with the subordinate, which means even after delegating responsibility and authority, the manager will be accountable for non-completion of task. So now let's talk about the centralization and decentralization. Centralization and decentralization are related terms as an organization uses both the policies. Centralization refers to the concentration of power or authority in the few hands, that is top level. An organization is centralized when the decision making authority is in the hand of top level management only. If we talk about the decentralization, decentralization can be defined as even and systematic distribution of authority at every level of management. Under decentralization, every employee working at different level gets some share in the authority. Decentralization is a policy matter and manager must plan in advance to think whether to go for centralized or decentralized policy. Sometimes a company follow a mix of centralized and decentralized. It is said that delegation is necessary in every organization, but decentralization is not necessary. Why? Delegation is an essential part of every organization. No organization can work without using the concept of delegation, as there is no individual who can do all the work himself only. Delegation is a tool to get the work done effectively and efficiently through others, whereas decentralization is required when an organization grow and expand and only top level cannot manage it. Especially in the present era due to liberalization and globalization, fast decision making is needed and quick decision can be taken through decentralization and only, as it provides the greater flexibility and freedom of action, but still many organizations are working with little or no decentralization. So it's a matter of choice and preference of the top level management and not a compulsory decision. So let's talk about the importance of decentralization. First one is develop initiative among subordinate. Passing of authority at middle level and lower level show the trust and faith of top level in their subordinate, and this trust and faith motivate the employee working at different level as they are allowed to take decision without seeking the approval of supervision. Superior. Allow the approval of superiors. Second one is quick decision making. In the decentralization process, decision making is not restricted in few hands, but decision making power is entrusted to all the manager who are taking action or performing the activities. This lead to fast decision making because employees who have to perform the activities are allowed to take decisions also. Next one is developing managerial talent for future. In the decentralization, manager working at lower and middle level also learn about the art of making decision. They get the experience of performing activities of top executives and learn to manage the authority given to them. So decentralization process prepare the manager working at lower and middle level to perform the task of the top level. So whenever there is a vacant job position at the top level management, the manager working at the lower or middle level can be promoted. This is how it level talent for the future. Next one is relief to the top level management. In the process of decentralization, top level managers are not overburdened with the responsibilities and authorities as they systematically pass the authorities and responsibilities at different level, and they become free to concentrate on core and important issues of the organization. Next one is facilitate growth. Decentralization grant more autonomy or freedom at lower level. This helps the subordinate to do work in the manner best suited for their department. When each department is doing their best, then productivity increases and it will generate more revenue which can be used for expansion. Next one is better control. In decentralization, employees working at different level take their own decision and they are personally accountable for their decision. They cannot pass the blame to their superior. With decentralization, better control can be exercised through scorecard management information system and scorecard, etc. Next one is promote initiative and creativity. The initiative directly depend on the authority. When the employed at every level are given greater degree of autonomy and authority according to their responsibilities, this helps them to take initiative. On the other hand, when lower and middle level executives are performing the task of top level executive, then it lead to creativity or it brings the creativity in the organization. And the last one is improve teamwork. In decentralization, all the manager or employee are sharing the decision making power and all are given some kind of autonomy and freedom of action. This sharing of decision and freedom of action integrate the employees as one team and develop the team spirit among the employees. So that's all what I have tell you about the organizing function of management. It is the second function of management, and planning we had already uploaded and discussed earlier. If you feel any problem in both the function, that is planning and organizing, then you can comment me in the comment box. And if you like my video, please press the like button, and if you have any query, then please comment me in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.